Hello everybody and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where we try to achieve 100%. In the last episode we had a pretty overpowered run where we got Guppy, we got Sacred Heart. It was just all fine and dandy. We get right back into this and we're going to be playing as my favourite character in the entire game, Eden. Eden is a character that starts with random stats and random items. He is actually the character that Paradox is based on. And we got an incredible starting item here. So we've got Luck Foot, which is going to increase our luck, and we also got the prayer card, which is going to let us give ourselves an eternal heart like once every 6 rooms, which is basically just lots and lots of HP upgrades. So our stats, our speed is just regular, our fire rate is actually a little higher, shot speed is a little lower, and our damage is a lot lower. So our damage is going to be the main thing that's going to suffer here. We also do start with random HP, as you saw. We started with 2 red hearts and 1 soul heart rather than the normal 3 red hearts. So getting hit there is not good. Not good at all. But yes, unfortunately our starting damage is a little low, but that is made up for in the fact that we have higher fire rate as a base. Most characters start with 10 fire rate, or very close to that. Starting with 8 is very nice. But basically, if we could get a nice, beautiful damage upgrade really early on in this run, this is going to be sitting very pretty. It's going to be a run that's going to be looking very good. Now, like I said, our HP is basically a non-issue because we're going to be getting Eternal Hearts on the regular, and as long as we can keep them alive until the next floor. So basically, the way Eternal Hearts work is you see that heart, that second heart on our HP at the top left. It has a sort of white half to it. Now that's an Eternal Heart. If you can keep that alive, if you can not get hit on that, when you enter the next floor, it turns into a full red heart. Or if you use an Eternal Heart again, if you get 2 on 1 floor like this, it makes 2 halves and gives you a full heart. So there we go, we got a full heart there. So we've just got a HP upgrade for nothing, and hopefully we should be able to get a few of those over the course of this run. Now, we don't want too many, because there is a cap. You can only have 2 rows of hearts. Now, I like to go for about just over 1 row, because the thing is, I don't want to not be able to take Spirit Hearts, because Spirit Hearts are fairly common, and they actually stop you from getting hit on your red hearts and losing Deal with Devils. They also mean you can trade away red health a little bit more available, like a little more readily, readily available is what I meant, like, without being too worried. So we're going to try to avoid stacking up too many red hearts, but for these early floors, that is really a non-issue. It's really not going to matter to us at all. Now, you may have seen there was a curse room there. We haven't actually been into one of those yet. Those are rooms where you take half a heart of damage going in and half a heart of damage leaving, but they have a decent chance to have good stuff in them. Now, they also have a chance to have bad stuff in them too, but it's more likely they have good stuff in. So it's very possible we'll go in there. Oh my god, Sinus Infection is one of my favourite items. I'm actually going to go do that, considering there's no Deal the Devil chance on the first floor, ever, no matter what, unless you get a card that teleports you to Deal the Devil, you can't get there. And also there's a bunch of red hearts on the floor, so might as well. Oh my god. We just got Curse of the Maze. Curse of the Maze, when you walk into a room, it can sometimes make you enter a different room, and it just happened on this room here, which is really bad. Now, unfortunately, this is just nothing. We didn't gain anything from this. We just have to fight some enemies and then leave. So we basically wasted 1.5 hearts for no reason. But because we have hearts on the floor to pick up, we didn't really waste anything. And we did get a penny for clearing the room. And you may think, oh, you've only got 5 cent. Items in the shop cost 15 normally. That's kind of useless. But if you didn't know this, if you have... Oh my god, we got teleported into our secret room by accident. Rather nice. We've got a bomb there. We can go back and get that tinted rock, in fact. So let's get our HP first. But yeah, if you didn't know, if you have... Oh my god, this is so annoying. If you have 5 coins and you get into the next floor, this is ridiculously annoying. Can you please stop, game? When you have 5 coins entering the next floor, you have a chance to spawn an arcade. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure it's a guarantee to spawn an arcade, whereas before, there's no such chance. You have less than 5 coins and you go down to the next floor, an arcade will not spawn. And although arcades aren't always the most useful thing, they are pretty good. They have the chance to be very good. And in the last episode, the arcade actually saved us because we got a bed that gave us 3 soul hearts. Now, that's very rare. That's not going to happen all the time, but the fact that there's a chance for that to happen is pretty good. Now, let's destroy this boss. We got the same boss as last time, actually. So, if you're wondering what Sinus Infection does, if you can't understand the name of the item, it basically fires out buggies, little buggers. and they stick to enemies and deal damage over time. Now, the damage over time that they deal is crazy once you stack up more than 2 or 3 on the enemy. As you saw there, we had a lot of them stacked up, and it really gets pretty insane. So that is an item that's generally not very good. All it does there is just... it gives us a wide berth of consumables. Now, it is nice to have some extra consumables, some extra bombs, some extra keys, but honestly, not that good. We're going to use our moon card straight away. It's going to teleport us into this room. And we did just get 2 battery drops. So what we're going to do here is we are going to get a lot of HP very quickly. So as you see, when the bugger tiers drop off, sometimes they actually land on another enemy. That is possible. So what we're going to do is go here. We use this once. And we use this again. And then we use this again. Now, we just got 2 HP upgrades in a single room there. Very, very nice indeed. That is a very good combo. Oop, and there we go. Finish that off. So, as you see, the prayer card really is an item that can go baller. It can ball. It can absolutely ball. You can ball out of control quite easily, and it's very nice. By the way, I just wanted to mention, I don't think it should be an issue, but I've been having a few issues with my mic recently. No serious issues, but I've been getting a little bit of interference that I noticed on like my Hollow Knight episodes and things like that. It's something that most viewers won't even notice, but it's been bothering me, so I just want to warn people that that is a possibility. Ooh, humbling bundle, we'll take that. And that is a possibility. You may find that there's a little interference. I think, Walnut's fine. I think I've solved it, but I'm not 100% sure. By the way, if you're wondering what that was, that's a trinket. Now, trinkets in this game are basically like holdable items that are a bit weaker than normal items. So you can hold 1 trinket at a time unless you have certain items. Certain items let you hold more than 1. And they sit in the bottom left corner, and they basically apply an effect. Some of them are stronger than others, definitely, but most of them are like relatively weak, just small helps to you. They don't help a massive amount, but they just help a little bit. That gives a soul heart. No soul heart. They just help a little bit, and that's going to be quite nice. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. We'll pick it up for progression's sake, because we need to have picked up all the items, but that's not good. Basically, we plant that down, enemies run towards it, it explodes. It's not very good. Alright. I want to be not getting hit here for my Deal the Devil chance. But yeah, so trinkets are pretty decent, and the walnut, I believe, when we get hit, we have a chance to spawn an item, and it only works once. We can only spawn 1 item, and it's a pretty low chance at that. But it's still something. It's better than not having a trinket. So that is pretty nice. I didn't mean to pick up that battery charge there. Actually, I picked that up by mistake, but that's not the worst thing in the world. Hopefully we get some key drops here so we can open that double key room. Now, double key rooms can be all manner of things, all variation of things. We'll have to see what we get when we go in there, if we get the chance. Which, if we get a key drop, we should, because it's going to mean we get 2 keys, which will mean we still have 1 left over. Unfortunately, there's no such luck about at the minute. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to go bomb my blood bank in this room over here and try and get something out of it along with this guy here. So let's bomb this. Got some coins and bomb this guy as well. And unfortunately, no soul heart or key, but still, I'm glad I did it. And we'll head into this room here and try and beat our boss without getting hit. Now, beating the boss without getting hit isn't a super hard task when it's someone like this, especially considering we've got Sinus tiers and we can get a bunch of buggers all over him. But this guy does have some attacks that can make it slightly difficult to dodge. If we can just get him into a position where he's fairly far away from us. The sprint thing he does at you where he sort of boosts 3 times is actually fairly easy to avoid. It's actually the shots I'm more worried about. The way that you avoid those 3 sort of dashes he does is just circle around him. Make a circle like this, like obviously a wider circle. But make a circle around him as he does them, and you're going to be pretty good to go. Now, we have a pretty good Deal the Devil here. So, not only we got a guppy item here, which is going to give us a chance to become guppy, but it's a good one too. What we can do is we can take this, rack up some of them, take this, and then head out. We probably should have played this guy before doing that. That's actually a big mistake on my behalf. I could have given him some HP and stacked up nicely on hopefully getting an item out of him, but it's not the biggest of deals. We'll keep heading on this way. We're at 25 money now, so we'll go over to our donation machine and donate some. But that was actually a pretty good play. You don't actually need to hold guppy item for it to take effect. Like, once you've picked up a guppy item, even if the thing jammed, but at least we upgraded our shop. But once you've taken the guppy item, even if you drop it and walk away from it, that is now one of the guppy items that adds to the transformation. So if we get 2 more, we still get the guppy transformation, even if we're not holding the item, which is very nice. And that is one of the better ones to get, because we're going to be stacking up red hearts from our prayer card, so it's nice to get a load of spirit hearts, basically to put us into a position where we don't need to worry about losing our Deal the Devil at any point, or at least hopefully don't have to worry about losing it. This is why I actually went in here. Even though we're going to lose one of our soul hearts, we've got a lot of them, so I think it's not going to be the biggest of issues. We'll do that then. Bomb it. And we actually got a Joker card, which not only is going to let us leave this room without taking half a heart of damage, but oh my god, we got Guppy again. We got Guppy again. How sweet it is to be me. I'm actually going to keep the prayer card and leave Guppy's head. Guppy's head just spawns flies every room, but considering we're actually Guppy and we're spawning flies on every hit, not the biggest of deals. Getting Guppy on what is the 3rd floor is pretty insane. That's a really fast Guppy. Like I said, the Guppy is a fairly common transformation. Now, it's not so common that you're going to be getting it every run. I know we've had it out of 2 out of the 3 runs we've played, but that is definitely not going to be a common occurrence. It's going to be fairly rare, but it is nice to have it. It's going to make our run. I'd say Guppy, it isn't always, but 99% of the time, it's a guaranteed win. 99% of the time. There you go. And it just so happened that we could afford both of the Deal the Devils available to us there, and that made that a very, very sweet and satisfying moment. Bob's Rotten Head, again, not a particularly good item. We'll pick it up for progression, but that's just a throwable poison bomb once every 3 rooms. Our prayer card is much, much more useful here. So even though our damage is low, we are going to be basically getting double +1 from our flies damage, as I told you in the last episode. So we don't need to really worry about our damage stat too much. It would be nice to see an improvement, but it's not going to be the be-all, end-all. We're not going to be in a terrible situation if it doesn't improve. Unfortunately, we don't have the key, so we can't even get into that shop. It'd be nice if we can get into there soon, though. Now, I have been focusing a lot about gameplay on this run, simply because we've had a bit of a rough start before we got Guppy, because we had such low damage. I tend to focus on gameplay a lot more when I'm struggling than I do on random life stuff. But now it's going to be smooth sailing, so I suppose I can talk about any old shit. And I guess, as I said in the last episode, I'm going to talk about different life stories and things like that. I'm trying to think of some decent ones to tell here. I suppose, like, I don't know if any of you had, ooh, we're going to our shop. We got PhD, which basically means better pills, as it says. Basically, all bad pills become good pills, and all good pills stay as good pills. But that's that. I'm going to actually buy those keys as well, just in case. But yes, I don't know if any of you had RE, religious education at school. I think most schools do religious education, but at my school it was very strange. Like, we basically only learnt about Christianity and, like, very little about any other religion. Considering the area I lived in, like, the city I live in, not, like, we've got to deal with the devil again. He's just not very religious anyways. I don't know many people that are religious, Christianity-wise anyways, in my city or anywhere near me, really. So it was kind of odd, and I understand that you have to learn about it, and I'm actually quite interested in it. But the classes were never interesting. Like, it was always some crap about, like, how, like, we should follow the Bible and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't actually teaching us anything about religion. Like, there's so much to teach about religion, especially Christianity. There's so much different things to teach, and it was never any of the interesting parts. Usually because the interesting parts make them look bad. But, like, I remember we used to, like, watch films quite a lot. I mean, goddamn, deal the devil all over the place there. We used to watch films a lot, which, I mean, most schools do, but RE was, like, especially crazy. I remember we watched not Bruce Almighty, sorry. That's the one with Jim Carrey. Evan Almighty, the one with Steve Carell, where he's, like, Noah. He becomes Noah. We watched Bruce Almighty, like, 3 times in, like, the space of, like, 2 years. And there was another thing that we watched. It was like some sort of PSA video that was just awful. It was really awful. It was sort of like a listen to Jesus and stay in school sort of thing, and it was just the worst thing ever. Like, I'm not religious myself, and I don't hold anything against people that are. Everyone has their own thing. Like, if you have faith, good on you, I suppose. If it makes you happy, keep doing it. But I myself not. And I felt like in the class, and like I said, a lot of the people in the class as well were also atheists. I feel like they kind of tried to push religion on you. And I remember as well, one of the other teachers was a Christian, and I don't know. This may sound bad, but in my opinion, we've got enough keys actually. We'll keep the walnut. In my opinion, if there is atheists available to teach RE, it probably should be them, because they're going to be unbiased completely. Whereas I feel like, especially considering the teacher we had was rather religious, like quite heavily. Ooh, we got. I'll take this. Basically, our tears can destroy enemy tears, which is fairly nice. The more tears we fire as well, the better this becomes. Oh, with Sinus tears as well, it's really good. We can stick tears onto an enemy's face, and then they get instantly destroyed as they shoot. Basically like Hungry Bullets, but kind of better. Considering it triggers every single one as well. But yeah, like, I don't know. In my opinion, it would have been better to have one that wasn't really heavily religious. I remember actually, like, this is getting way off topic, but crazy stuff happened at my school. Like, so the teacher, I can't remember her name now. It was Miss Young or something. I don't think it was, but let's say that it was something along those lines. And she was actually married to one of the art teachers. No, it wasn't art teachers. More of the music teachers. Sorry, who just taught like general music lessons. And like she used to go crazy all the time. Like, I mean crazy. She like there was one lesson where she came in and she just like cried all lesson. She just like sat at the table and just cried, and she was complaining about her problems and all sorts of stuff, and no one really knew what was up. Like, no one really, I mean, people questioned it, but no one really like looked into what was going on. But then like when I left school, like this is not even a lie, when I left school, it was found out that the music teacher was a paedophile. Like, he was like jailed, like actually jailed for being a paedophile, and it's like, a lot makes sense now. That relationship probably wasn't so healthy. I have a feeling that there was definitely no love in that. So, kind of understand why she was going mental at school. We had a lot of really mental teachers at my school. I remember when we had cooking class, we had oh god, this is actually. Okay, I'm gonna finish my point, but then I'm gonna get onto an entirely different story, which is hilarious. It's one of my favorite stories from school. But we had this cooking teacher who, like, I mean, a lot of teachers yell, but she would just yell at the weirdest things, at the weirdest times as well. Like, she'd get really angry at, like, if the oven was turned on too early and things like that. Like, you'd literally, like, you'd get out your cooking utensils like a little too early, or you'd start cooking like a bit too early, and she'd go just ape shit on you. It was really strange. But anyways, she was actually a pretty good teacher despite being very, very like crazy. But she was pretty good. Like she knew what she was doing in terms of cooking, and she knew how to teach it too. But yeah, I took cooking as an option in school in the UK, or at least in my school, and a lot of schools in the UK. You pick options throughout secondary school and or high school, whatever you call it, and for me, we'd pick two options each year, from year 9 to from year 9, 10, and 11, and those options you would do for a full day twice a week. So I picked on my first year, I picked media and cooking. So for a full day on Tuesday, I did media, and for a full day on Thursday, I did cooking. And you'd like I said, you'd do that all day. And so because we was in that class quite often, people would get bored. Like, because the thing is, everyone thinks, oh, cooking, that's going to be great. Get to make a souffle, get to make a cake, and all that sort of stuff. Nah. It's like 90% coursework, like, on the computer, writing about different theories and like, actually, like, writing about the stuff behind the cooking and not actually cooking. So, dull as shit a lot of the time. And we all used to have this, like, computer room that we used to obviously work in. And, got a lot of money here, by the way. Do our stuff in. We've got a gold key there, actually. Golden keys give you unlimited keys for that floor, just so you know. But we we'd spent like all day in that computer room, and there was this kid called Tyler, and I mean, bless his heart, he was like the mockery of the entire class. I don't know why. Like, it wasn't even us, because we had a mixed year class. We had people from the year above and my year in the class, and a lot of the people in the year above weren't particularly nice to him, let's put it that way. I don't know why. It's a bit odd, but it wasn't like terrible. But like, he got picked on a little bit. Bless him. But I remember. So we were doing our coursework, and one of the people in the higher year convinced this kid to give him his school password, like his school computer password. I don't know how. I think he said that he told him like his computer had a virus and he knew how to fix it or something really like silly and like something you really shouldn't fall for. And anyways, he got his computer password. This definitely wasn't allowed at school. Like this would get you in serious shit if you got found out. But anyways, so he got his password and he went into his coursework, into his like all of his cooking coursework, the stuff that we were going to be examinated on, and just covered, and I mean like every single page in just pictures of frogs and turds, like for no reason. It was just he just thought it'd be funny, and just like completely random, just like put turds and pictures of frogs and stuff all over his work, and it's like demonstrations of how to cook cakes and bread and stuff, and there's just pictures of frogs in there. And I remember the day. Ooh, the day. It was the funniest moment ever. So we're all on our computers. Tyler logs into his computer, boots up his work, and calls the teacher over to show her something with his work. And from across the room, I just hear her exclaim, "Tyler, why is your work covered in toads?" It's just the funniest thing. It just made no... Because, like, I didn't know the context beforehand, and so it's just the funniest thing to hear from across the room. "Tyler, why is your work covered in toads?" Oh, it's duct tape. It's not as good as, It's not as good as Enter the Gungeon's duct tapes. It makes your familiars, like, stick to the position they're in, look like my flies, rather than orbiting me. But yeah, it was so funny. Oh, I don't know... I don't know why they did it, but it was really funny. I remember as well, like, getting really bored in that class, and in the, piercing tears plus shielded tears is really good. I remember in that class as well, we got really bored in the IT room, and me and my friend Matty, you might have seen me play with him on a stream on Apex Legends once or twice. It's called Matty Task, or Booking Fallback is his two names he goes by. But anyways, my friend Matty, like, we used to sit next to each other and sit next to the radiator. And one day we thought, do you know what would be fun? Do you know what we'd try? Bear in mind, again, I was like 14 at this point. I was like, should we try melting some gummy bears on the radiator? Because we're bored. Yeah, let's do it. So we put these gummy bears on the radiator. And we find out... I don't need to take that. There's no point. We find out that if a gummy bear is sat on a radiator and melted, it makes the strongest super glue I've ever known. Like, what we did is, do you know, like, the computer chairs you get in your school computer classes, like, the ones that have got, like, little swivelly feet on them? Yeah, them sort of ones. So we had them, and we thought, let's put some underneath the leg of the chair. And see what happens. And we lifted the chair up, and the wheel came clean off. It just stuck to the floor. It was just stuck there. It just came clean off. So we just kind of sat the chair back on it slowly and just walked away. I remember, like, he put his foot in it as well, and it almost pulled his shoe off. It was crazy. I remember as well, like, in cooking, I'm kind of going to, like, go through the classes here, because I'm trying to think of each story from each class, and every time I think of one class, all the stories from that class kind of get brought up. But, like, I remember in that class as well, we used to, like, whenever the teacher wasn't in the room, bear in mind, like I said, 14 again, don't do this, it's bad, kids, be good in school. We used to have cheese fights. We used to, like, throw cheese across the room. Just, like, little bits of pastry and, like, cheese and stuff, and just, like, we were kind of at opposite ends of the room. We used to throw it over the top of every other one, like, every other person that was working. Just have little cheese fights. Like, I can't risk the D6. I've shown you D6 before. But, like, like, you just imagine other kids just slowly doing their work, getting on with stuff, and there's just cheese flying over the top of them, little bits of cheese. Like, we had to, for one of our projects, we had to, like, pick a meal and make it in a bunch of different ways and with, like, different ingredients. I picked shepherd's pie. I don't know if you know what shepherd's pie is. I'm pretty sure it's a very British meal. But it's basically, think of sort of buttery mashed potatoes with a layer of, like, minced meat, onions, gravy, and, like, sort of a gravy sauce. Oh, it's brilliant. It's a very good meal if you haven't had it. It's very, very tasty. I highly, highly recommend. We don't have restock. Oh, no, we do. What am I talking about? Oh, Bible. Need it. Thank you. Yeah, we need the Bible for an achievement. But take poker. But yeah, and I remember my friend picked corn fritters. I don't know if you ever had a corn fritter, but I will never eat one again in my life because I ate them like every single day because we had to have someone to make them and someone to try them, and you had to do all different variations. And I remember one day I had to make we all had to make a sweet variation of whatever we made, and oh god. He made corn fritters, it was awful. But yeah, the shepherd's pie that I made, when we had to make a sweet variation, I can't remember what I made it out of. But it was like, instead of mince, it was like shaved chocolate, and like, instead of mash, it was like whipped cream, and it was just awful. I don't know why we had to do that. That was like a terrible thing. The rest of them that I made were really good. Like, I made one with like a red wine sauce, and ooh, it was good. I'm actually, like, I did that class without wanting to ever do cooking seriously. I just did it as a life skill, and I'm really glad I did. I learnt a lot in that, and I think it really helped me out later in life. I feel like I'm a pretty good cook, and I don't attribute it at all to that, nowhere near. But I'd say I'm at least some of it does come from that class. But like I said, that option was just mainly a mess around. By the way, if you're wondering what the Bible does, the Bible gives you temporary flight for a room every time you use it. So once every 6 rooms you can fly. But it also allows you to do something that I'm going to show you in a little bit once we get there. Once we get to the mum's fight, I'll show you a little cool thing you can do with it. But yes, the other class I did actually was Poker Go obviously spawns a random enemy on occasion as well. The other class that I did in that year was Media. Media was the best thing I ever did. It was so good. So basically, it was like sort of film studies, TV studies, music video studies, all that sort of stuff, and all that sort of stuff rolled into one. And basically, it was just a class where you fucked around, watched and made films all day. It was great. Dead. That's what it does. That's what the Bible does. It lets you kill Mum in literal one press of a button. Also Mum's heart as well. And it also unlocks the Halo. So definitely worth doing. But yes, very good. But yeah, Media was just like a mess around where we just watch films and stuff. And I remember we watched The Mist, the Stephen King book adaptation film. And a lot of people, including my flatmate, actually stand by it being a really good film, but I still think to this day it was like one of the most awful horror films I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm not a fan of horror films, so that might be one of the big reasons behind that. Ooh, Tammy's head's really good. Tammy's head's really good. Tammy's head does this. We don't need it, though. We don't need it. We'll stick with Bible, because we want to get that mum heart kill. But yes, like, I remember just, like, all of us just, like, poking fun at some of the really awful bits it had. Some of the really, really awful bits it had. I mean, we were laughing at the effects as well, but then again, oh, we have to take Tiny Planet. We have to. Tiny Planet does this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now we have to take Tammy's head. We just have to. It's actually really good with the fact that we can block tears with them. Really good. And piercing as well. It's really good with piercing. Generally, Tiny Planet's a pretty terrible item. It usually hinders you quite a lot. But when you've got piercing plus shielded tears, it becomes pretty damn good. And I'm gonna go and take Tammy's head wherever it was, because that'll work pretty well with this actually. I don't really care about killing Mum if we've got Tammy's head plus Tiny Planet. But yeah, and I remember, like, I did pretty well in that class. Like, I think I was, like, set to get a B or something. And then, like, one of the last pieces of coursework we had to submit, the teacher, like, we'd handed them all in. The teacher had mine and lost it. And I had to redo it, like, with, like, a week to go. And I got, like, a D. It was really, like, shit. And I couldn't really do anything about it. That was pretty terrible. That was pretty terrible. But it was fun. Like, I remember we had to make our own superhero comic, and mine was based on the absolutely awful game, which I never played, Brink, but also mixed with Hulk. So it was called Brink, and it was basically like a blue. Thinking about it now, it's kind of like Thanos, and I didn't even know what Thanos was at that point. It was like a blue sort of purpley Hulk that wanted to end the world, but he was a superhero somehow. I can't remember the connection. I had to write like a whole storyboard and backstory. Oh, and I remember as well in that class we had to make a music video, and we could pick the song, but the group that I was with was just a few friends, and we all had vastly different music tastes, and so it was really difficult for us to decide on a song we all wanted to do, and that was like appropriate, because a lot of the songs we decided on weren't appropriate. And then we just got given a song, and it was, I wanna be a millionaire, so fucking bad. Oh, it wasn't fucking, it was another word, I can't remember what they switched it with. Think of all the things I've never had. I don't know if, can't remember who it's by, I can't remember when it came out. I just remember that I hate it, because I listened to it for basically a whole day, once a week, for about 3 months, and it was the worst thing ever. Yeah, it was pretty damn awful. It was pretty damn awful. By the way, we just got a goat head, which guarantees a deal with the devil, which is really nice. But yeah, and I remember absolutely hating that song, so we had to make a music video for it. So we basically just had to take the lyrics and record something based on them lyrics. And I remember we made like a little stop motion animation, and oh, it was a great time. Like, we just used to basically go around the school's grounds and mess around with it. It was really fun. School was a fun time. Anyone that hates school right now, you shouldn't. You should feel blessed. It gets worse. No, I'm not trying to put you off. I swear. No, it's fine. Don't worry. It definitely doesn't get worse. I'm lying. Shh. Any of you that have finished school, don't tell them. Don't tell them. But I remember at school hating parts of it, but I think most of it I really enjoyed. I suppose it does differ from person to person and how good your school is and just how good your school experience is, but I have a lot of fond memories of school, a lot of fond memories. I mean, I do from college and university as well, but university just reminds me of depression, sadness, and death. Nah, it doesn't. It does remind me of stress, though. It was very stressful, but it was very much worth it. Oh, very much worth it indeed. Yeah, it was, the last year was like incredibly stressful, but I think apart from the stress towards the end, I had a pretty good uni experience. I did fairly well. This is awful. I feel like I'm gonna die, and I don't know why. I feel like I've got a pretty good run here, so I shouldn't be dying. There we go, you're dead. Let's go and do Satan. We've not really got the health for it, but we'll try it out. Rubber cement, cool. Try it out. We don't want to be using our head every single room we can. We don't want purple heart. Purple heart is challenge up, and I don't want challenge up. Ah. The not Guppy's head, sorry, the Tammy's headshots do extra damage too, which is nice. Can't block the bullets of them guys, unfortunately. Where are you? There you are. Just money. I don't need money. I'm in hell, boy. Ain't no shops in hell. Basically the same as Bind of Isaac, actually. No, Enter the Gungeon, sorry, actually. Give me that. Child's Heart's probably better now. Oh my god, we found the boss like straight away. Awesome. Nice, found the boss very early. But yeah, I'll probably get onto more school stories at some point, but for now, let's focus on this. 3, 2, 1. Go away, you heathen. You heathenous creature. Once we get some thingies stuck to this guy, he's over. We basically have a permanent shield around us that he can't penetrate, apart from when he penetrates it twice. Back off me, Satan. I don't like your goat hoofs. We've got nowhere near as much damage as last time, so we're not quite owning him as we did last time. But we're still doing a lot of damage. We're still killing him with relative ease. Like I said, Guppy is basically a guaranteed win unless you majorly fuck up. But there we go. I'll shut up for the cutscene. Ooh, nice. But yes, I suppose I'll get onto more stories as we progress through this series. I hope you guys are enjoying this style of commentary. I know it's very, very different from my other episodes and my other series, and it may be not to your liking. It may be to your liking. I really don't know. You'll have to let me know. Please leave a comment and tell me. But yeah, I did get cut off a little bit towards the end there, but I'm sure we'll carry on. And like I said, as I go through these episodes, I'm probably just going to kind of go through each class at school and all the things I remember, and then onto college, onto university, and just various different things. It's fun to reminisce. It's fun to reminisce. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.